they might take away, oh, Ben Affleck was in this. I thought he was gone. Blah, 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 blah. It would have been great except for he was in here. You know, but I like your idea better.
I do too, because it's my idea. Hello and welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. We have entered August. Man, summer has gone by fast, hasn't it? We're in the final month here. August is generally known as like the slower month for movies and everything. You won't be able to tell that from this first weekend, however. We've got a lot to cover.
There's a lot.
So we'll get to all that in a little bit. But first things first, let's talk about one of the big things that happened last week. Spoiler alert, Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman, at least for one other movie.
Yep.
We know for sure he'll be in Flash whenever that comes out. By the time of this recording, we think it's going to be next year, but who knows? But let's talk about how they announced this for Aquaman 2. There was no talk, no rumors, nothing that I heard. All of a sudden, Jason Momoa posts on his Instagram a picture with Ben Affleck saying, hey, buddy, he's on Aquaman 2 and everything. Second time, by the way, Jason Momoa has announced something huge. The first being the Snyder Cut, when everyone was like, no, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. And then he all of a sudden tweets out, oh yeah, I've seen it. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So, Marvel has Tom Holland to worry about. We've got Jason Momoa to worry about.
Yep.
So we just got to put a little muzzle on that guy.
I'm excited. I'm happy he did that because I liked. A lot of people didn't like his Batman, but I did like it. It wasn't the best by far, but I enjoyed his portrayal of Batman.
It was the best part of Batman v Superman.
Yep. I think his physique too. I like he's a big dude. Ben Affleck's a big guy, and he looks jacked, and it's awesome. He looks good.
Yeah. And I will say for this, I feel like a lot of people, when they heard this announcement, they were kind of complaining a little bit because they were like, well, we didn't know anything about this. There was no rumors. Why didn't you save it for the movie and you had a chance to have a big surprise here?
Yeah.
Which I think makes a lot of sense, why people would kind of complain about that. I have a theory. Follow me on this. Comic-Con was a couple weekends ago. DC pretty much announced nothing. Nothing big, nothing new, nothing we didn't know.
Yep.
They were like, well, we got to give him something here. We got to get him excited about something. So then they're like, hey, Momoa, take a quick pick with Affleck here and just throw us a bone here or whatever, you know. And I swear we'll cut down Amber Heard's time or something like that for you. I don't care. We'll make that deal or something. I don't know.
I like it.
That's my theory. I have absolutely no evidence, but I'm sticking to it. That's my conspiracy talk with Nick. New segment on this show.
I like it.
But with that, let's move into some weekly preview and talk about what's coming out this weekend for movies. Like I said, lot to cover. So let's just go right into it. First things first, all these are coming out on Friday, August 5th. First one we're going to talk about is Bodies, coming out to theaters here. Basically, the movie Clue, but with more teenager horror in the woods.
Yeah.
Partying kind of. It's like if 16-year-olds wrote the movie Clue. You could tell they were really trying to corner like the younger market, partially because of the younger actors. You got Pete Davidson in here.
Yep.
Like the younger crowd loves him. But it also gives off some huge like Among Us vibes.
Yeah.
It's basically the game Among Us, but in like an older like cabin in the woods feel. It's Among Us with weed. And vaping. Like let's be honest here.
Yep.
So you don't know
the drug culture.
Yeah. Stinking teenagers, get off my
lawn, teenagers.
Yeah, so it could be a fun mystery. I've liked these kind of things, this kind of concept before, but the downside of doing angsty teenagers is sometimes they are annoying, and if you put them all in a house, I might just get annoyed with all of them and say, to heck with it. So we'll see on that. But one of the big ones also coming out this weekend, probably the one I'm most looking forward to, is Bullet Train. It's coming to theaters as well. Do you remember the Wolverine movie? It was like the second in that Wolverine trilogy. And there was that scene where Wolverine was fighting those guys on the bullet train. It's basically that scene, but like the entire movie.
Entire movie.
And that is awesome to me because that was one of my favorite scenes from that movie. That was one of my favorite scenes from the X-Men series.
Yep.
And now you're basically like, yeah, no, that's pretty much the entire movie. Is they're going to be fighting on this bullet train. They're going to be fighting in it. They're going to be fighting outside of it. They're going to be fighting everyone. It's basically Brad Pitt versus the world.
Yep.
Which
Joey King.
Joey
Pitt King's in there.
General. Yep.
Yeah. Brad Pitt is awesome. I love Brad Pitt. And I really like Joey King too. So I think this is going to be a sweet movie. I don't know how big her role is in here, but it's still going to be a fun movie.
Yep. Also coming out this weekend is Easter Sunday. It is a comedy starring Joe Coy, who is a stand-up comedian. Basically, he said this is loosely based off his life. What a weekend with his family would be like leading up to Easter Sunday in his Filipino family and all the experiences that brings. Family holidays, it doesn't matter where you come from, whatever, that's always stressful and everything.
Yeah.
Now added in the fact that part of the subplot involves one of his relatives getting in deep with, looks like some loan sharks or whatever.
Some loan sharks,
and things get even a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah. And there's a great Manny Pacquiao reference in there. And it's when I heard that, I was like, this is going to be pretty funny. It's going to be pretty good.
But yeah, I'm not so familiar with the stand-up comedian himself. However, looking at this movie, it seems pretty funny.
Yeah.
And you can tell even though it's Easter Sunday coming out in August, you could tell they didn't necessarily have as much confidence that this was going to go up against Easter Sunday weekend, which is kind of that preseason summer. A lot of blockbusters there too.
Yep.
So I think August is a interesting dumping ground, but also
and
maybe a gamble that works out.
I think this might be a film where when it comes out, it will do good by word of mouth from people that go and see it. Kind of a lot of those, I want to say bigger, kind of cheesier comedy, romance, a little bit of, kind of those lighter films. A lot of them tend to do better as.
Don't expect a great opening weekend.
Yeah.
Expect it to kind of build momentum.
Over time. Yep.
But also coming out this weekend, Carter. This is coming straight to Netflix. I believe this is a Korean action film. It's one of those movies that are set up as a one take, one shot throughout the whole thing, which means a lot of interesting transitions, but a lot of fight sequences that are all just one shot, one camera.
Yeah.
I lost my breath just watching the trailer here. I have a feeling I might just pass out from exhaustion if I watch this whole movie.
I'm pretty excited for it. When I was watching it kind of almost reminded me of the film Hardcore Henry.
Yes.
Because that's kind of that similar. It's meant to be a one take. It's supposed to be all shot at one time, and you got to kind of notice the transitions when you can.
Super chaotic, super shaky.
Yeah, stuff going on. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It looks good.
Also coming out that weekend on Apple TV Plus is a movie called Luck. It's an animated movie that basically says luck is not for the fate or random, but is actually created. And this one character is one of the most unluckiest people alive.
Yep.
Until she finds a coin, and then she loses the coin, and then she stumbles upon a black cat that supposedly works for this company. That's creates the luck and all that, and it's like a secret portal. I was on board, and then it kind of went to the secret portal where it's they create the luck thing and this whole world thing, and that's where it kind of started losing me because it almost gave off Boss Baby or Stork vibes where it's there's this secret world we didn't need.
It gave me the Inside Out vibes of you have control, but your emotions have control, if in a sense.
Yeah, but the emotions were part of that person. This is basically saying you are unlucky because a luck dragon decided it.
True.
Screw you.
Yeah. I get you.
That being said, it could still be good. My skin crawled like nothing else during one shot in this trailer, however, when she's working at, a craft store or whatever, and she trips and she knocks down a shelf and 10 jars of glitter all dump on her.
Yeah.
I've got a thing against glitter. I always have. I hate it. You know the line in one of the Star Wars movies where Anakin's he hates sand, it gets everywhere? That's me with glitter. It's rough, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere, and it takes forever to get off. I got some issues with glitter. I should probably talk to someone about it. But
let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Before we go through the rest of the weekly preview here, we thought we'd take a moment here and talk about our friends at the Marshall 6 Theater here in Marshall, Minnesota. As the summer is winding down, they're updating their hours, so make sure before you go and check a movie there, you check out their website, so that way you can see show times and make sure you have the most updated information for their show times. And feel free to go and cool down in there, as it's been hot here these past few weeks. It's cool in there, and they got some cool, refreshing drinks to go along with it while you catch a flick.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Also coming out this weekend, I know you're really looking forward to this one, Meyerberg, Prey. Unfortunately, not coming out to theaters. The director's kind of disappointed about this. I feel like a lot of the fans are a little disappointed about this. Coming to Hulu, Prey. It is the prequel to the Predator franchise. It takes place roughly 300 years before most of the events of Predator. The film doesn't exactly say, but it takes place near a Comanche tribe, and I did a little bit of research. They generally were kind of in the Kansas, Oklahoma, Colorado area. You do kind of see some mountains and some rivers. Yep. So I'm going to say eastern Colorado here.
Okay.
Just by my little bit of knowledge. So feel free to fact check me on that one. Yeah, you don't think I don't do research before this show? Come at me.
Yeah.
But looks like some really cool action in this one, though.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the Predator franchise. Now, the first Predator's by far the best one, hands down. They've tried to take it in different directions, and then they tried teaming up with Alien, and they did Alien versus Predator, and it was okay. And like I think I was just so enthralled with it when I was younger that one of the first time I watched some of those films, I thought they were a lot better than what they were. But the first one's definitely good. But now Predator is just like a classic character that people know. They might not have the best things associated with it, but I'm super pumped to see it because I really like the Predator films. So.
Also coming out that weekend, like I said, there's a lot coming out. For August being a slow month, someone didn't tell these movies that August was a slow month. So coming out on Peacock directly to the NBC streaming service, They, Them. Kevin Bacon movie working with Blumhouse about basically a conversion camp that turns into a slasher horror flick real quick.
Yeah. I think I'm interested to see how they blend horror with the social commentary of the they, them stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be interesting, and it'll be. I haven't seen Kevin Bacon in anything in, I don't know, maybe a year or two, so it'll be nice to see him again. And
it's always good to see Kevin Bacon.
He might be the killer in this. I don't know, but
I think at the very least
cool.
He's the one ordering around the killers.
Yes,
because there's like a lot of people or whatever.
Yeah.
I just gotta say one thing. Why is it always like a summer camp that's always a slasher horror thing? I worked at a summer camp for like 3 summers. It wasn't that creepy. I mean, some parts were darker and scarier than others, maybe, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was fun.
That camp. I know the camp you speak of, and it is creepy at night.
No, it's not.
There's one tree that has 5 fingers coming out of it.
I mean, okay, yeah,
it's right by the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
I call it the devil's hand.
It's not. No,
because if you sleep there, you disappear.
When has anyone slept by that tree?
Summer 1993.
1993.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna fact
check the records.
I have access to I know
check
the person who could give me access to the records.
Yep. Check it.
I'll fact check you.
I'll
fact check you so hard. Finally coming out, last one here to talk about here is 13 Lives. This one's coming straight to Amazon Prime. Based on one of the biggest news stories of 2018. I do vaguely kind of remember this all going down about that soccer team in Thailand, I believe it was, that got trapped in the flooded cave. And the rescuers, it was like a very complex situation. Yeah. You couldn't just go in and get them out, sort of thing. So this movie's going to dive into that a little bit. No pun intended. That might have been in poor taste. No pun intended, seriously. Directed by Ron Howard. If you take away, he's done some documentary stuff, and he did kind of a minor thing with Amy Adams and Glenn Close a couple years ago. But if you take away all that, this is the first like big directorial blockbuster he's been a part of since Solo, a Star Wars story, which came out in like 2018, something like around the year
been a while.
Story came out. So it's been a minute since Ron Howard has been behind the camera on the big screen.
Yeah.
So glad to have him back, I think.
Yeah, and it'll be good. I remember when this story, I was very following it actually pretty closely when it happened because I thought it was interesting. The whole world was paying attention to what was happening. And, I mean, you have Aragorn there to help save the day. Can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Those kids are in good hands.
Yes, they are.
Let's move into some number one recommend and talk about what we've seen in the past week and what we think you guys should check out here. I went first last week, so Ryan, why don't you kick us off? What have you been checking out recently?
Well, first I have to give a shout out.
We're doing the shirt thing again?
Yep.
We haven't done that bit since 2019.
I'm wearing a Metallica t-shirt because my pick this week is for Eddie Munson of Stranger Things Season 4. I just started watching the new Stranger Things season, and it is fantastic. I really like it. I love the Hellfire Club. That's their D&D club. And he's got a jacket on that has a very large Dio picture on the background. And I absolutely love it. When I first saw him, I fell in love with his character. It was super cool. I like the music he listens to. And other than that, the show's great. I can't really talk about the show a whole lot because there's a lot of spoilers. But if you've seen the Stranger Things, there are other seasons. It's just another season. So go check it out. And hope you guys enjoy it.
I am going to recommend Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. This is kind of one of the biggest movies of the year so far. Basically, the best way I could put it is they take the multiversal elements of Doctor Strange 2, make it a few ticks better. They took the action fighting choreography and creativity of Shang-Chi and made it a few ticks better, combined them together, and made this movie. And I love so much about it. It's a little bit long, but that's my complaint with almost every movie I watch that's over 2 hours.
You don't like long movies.
I cut it off at 2 hours. That's my thing.
You gotta,
cut it off at 2 hours.
Sometimes you got to explore the story.
Okay. If it's over 2 hours, you better earn it. And it earns most of it. It just overstays its welcome just a little bit for me. It's a minor nitpick, but I love it. If you love the action fight styles of like old like action Japanese movie, if you love the stuff Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee was doing, like it's a lot. Some of those fight scenes are a lot like that, or kind of homages to that. And with that, that's going to wrap up this edition of Popcorn Bucket List as we kick off the month of August. If you have any of your own movie recommendations, stuff you want us to check out, be sure to let us know. Whether you see us on the street, you let us know in the comments here. Send us a letter.
See us at the
good
movie
luck
theater.
Figuring out my mailing address, though. Just start mailing random letters. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Write a message in the sky. However you want to get in contact with us. I don't care. But for myself, Ryan Meyerberg, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.